So, welcome back to another episode of the United Score. Manchester United versus Liverpool. What a game! It was very boring. Very boring and crappy. We could have done without Scott McTominay for the most part. This is one of the games where I believe Van der Beek would have strived and he never played on at all. So, this never made no sense in terms of selecting McTominay for Van der Beek. Van der Beek was is more of a, I mean, McTominay is more of a, like a wild card per se. Him just pop up for a few matches, do well, and then you think say I'm gonna perform for the next couple of matches, and it just never work out. Now we're still at the top of the league. If City beat Crystal Palace, Liverpool gonna fourth. So I guess it's just too bad for Liverpool right now. Them just not perform. Um, our game, we should have won the game. We could have won the game, and we never did either of them. We should have won the game. Bruno Fernandes had chances to score. Pogba had chances to score. I mean, Marcus Rashford was just. I mean, the final ball. Why we can't provide some final balls? We're trying to play the ball over the top because we had as Liverpool had Jordan Henderson as their centre back. I mean, that was the right idea, but it just never come off. It just never worked, and we just needed to have some direct tactics. We set out the team that we played. We set out, yes, to win the game, but I believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was just content with a draw. I saw that throughout the game. I saw that throughout the game. A draw was imminent. We didn't even feel it before the game started. Say we are gonna draw the game. If we never win, which was mine, it's like a 80-20 or 70-30 percentage of us winning and drawing. 70 would be for draw and 30 for us winning. I mean, in the first half, we our chances of scoring were minimal. I believe we didn't have a chance in the game for the first 30 minutes. That was poor. That was poor. We were trying to get Liverpool on the counter, and it just we can't just live on that all the time because it not gonna work for everything. I mean, yeah, I'm happy with the fact that we draw the game and we never lose it. No, I'm happy with the fact that we never lose the game. We wanted to win the game. I wanted to win the game. That would have put us at 39 points. And we need to make sure that we hold up more results. Yes, the good thing is we never lose the game, which is a big factor. And as I said, I am very happy that we never lose the game. But the squad itself, Bruno had a bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best of games for him. It wasn't the best of games for him. We say where Martial had to play with his back behind to the goal again. Feeding the forwards is something that we need to work on. We're just not feeding the forwards properly, and that is one of the things that we need to be more consistent with. All right, let's start going at player ratings. All right, so Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. All right, for the squad and how him select it, it was a more defensive mindset. I would have rather to see Danny Van Der Beek where Scott McTominay played because I believe he would have been more effective, and it just never worked out. So Ole is a 6 because of how you approach the game. So for me, it's a 6, and your game never warrant more than that. Could have been a 5 or a 6. I believe that the latter, the 6 was more. I said deserving, but kind of I've just worked with that. Alright, so David De Gea. I believe David De Gea in goal he has been looking way better than he was in the past 2 seasons for us. And he is now keeping Dean Henderson out of the team based on his performances. So we are gonna work with that. And David De Gea, you saved us I think twice today. So for me, your game is a 7. I don't think Manu had any man of the match performances, because we never end up winning the game, or having anything that was so spectacular that we couldn't have that we could have had a man of the match. So for me, David De Gea is a seven. Now we are going to Wan Bissaka. Alright, Wan Bissaka, your first half wasn't as good as it should have been. But I saw where you started the second half way better. The second half started way better for me, for Wan Bissaka. So yeah, Wan Bissaka for me, I would have more give you a 6.5, honestly, to tell you the truth, because you were caught out a lot, and Fred had to clean up for you a lot of the times. One Bissaka, what name? Victor Lindelof had to clean up a lot for you too, and to me was a better defending day for us than previously. So Wan Bissaka for me is a six. Is a six. Wan Bissaka. That was what you had deserved for the day. Victor Lindelof. Victor Lindelof. I still thought we should have played Eric Bailly, but you held your own today. Surprisingly, you held your own today. So for me, your game is a seven. Um, you dug us out of a lot of the holes that our midfielders were digging for us, because a lot of the times I thought some of the balls should be playing much faster, and some one-time balls we held on too much on the ball, and our final passing was poor, 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 and the finishing. So Lindelof for me is a seven. Um, we are go to Harry Maguire, big Harry. Again, for me, a start out game iffy for me. That is, but you came in your own, honestly. For the first After the first 10 minutes, we see you start defend better. And again, as I said, the game was more of a defensive game for us, because we were pretty much content on holding Liverpool to a draw than actually winning the game. And I think that was poor mindset from the coaching staff. We should have set out to win the game and not look to counter Liverpool only. We should have tried to win the game wholeheartedly. But Harry Maguire is a decent seven. So yeah, wasn't a captain's performance, but was a seven, which was deserved or deserving. Uh Luke Shaw. Yeah, Luke was a better defender of all four for me. Well, Lindelof was not bad, but Luke Shaw was good. He provided one of the crosses that um Fernandez Fernandez should have struck in, and it never went in. I believe that shot. I mean, I saw where he was trying to get a deft touch to get Allison out, but I think we should have put more on that shot and get it in. But Luke Shaw for me, yeah, is a seven. The game was just blah, and I think you provided some width, and you provided the crosses that we needed. We just never put them away. That's the thing. We just never put them away. So Luke Shaw is a seven. Scott McTominay. Scotty. Scott McTominay. Where is Scott? Alright, so Scott McTominay, pretty non-existent for me. We could have done without you in the team today. Not harsh, but it's just reality. We should have played with Danny Van Der Beek. I think if we did play with Danny, we'd have had more forward passes, and would have had more chances at goal. Even Danny could have even won us the game. You play too much back passes for me. You remind me of Fellaini when Fellaini did Manu. Today you just played way too much back passes in the first half, predominantly, and your passes for me and your tackling was just off. You were beaten a lot by Thiago. So was Fred. But so for me, your game is a five. Scott McTominay. Let's go to Fred. Fred. Fred, you started the game not good, not good. It's like I mean, Thiago had your ticket. The man just had deal with the wicked. Thiago was dealing with you very wicked, but you made some crucial blocks. I'm not gonna lie, but the overall game never did that tick for me. Just never did that come out of the blocks as to how it should. So Fred is just an ordinary. He's a regular six. You were better than Scott McTominay for the most part. So he's a six. But nah lie, Thiago deal with the wicked still. Wicked. Thiago just have a ticket, brother. It just never did that work for me any at all. So when I go to Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford. Alright, Marcus. not a not a good game. He could have played way better. Way better. And I mean servicing was poor. We can't deny that. Service was poor and you never get the service that you wanted. So we can't overlook that. But you could have had a better game and I believe the game is worth nothing more than a six. So yeah, I have to work with that. I can't say much because of how the game was. The game was how I am feeling now. It was boring, was lackluster. We just were trying to catch Liverpool on the counter. It could have worked. It could have worked. Just that we never have the finishing that we needed. So Bruno Fernandes, I'm sorry you were pissed coming off, and I don't know why Ole took you off either. You were one of the persons who were more um better at in the attacking and the final third. So I don't know why Ole took you off, but the attackers were pretty poor for me. So for me, Bruno is a six. Alright, we can go to Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba. Paul P. Alright, Paul, your game. I mean, it started the game pretty. I call it with a lot of potential to it. It just never took off the way the potential was. It never took off as how it should have taken off. So Paul P is a six. You had the chance to win the game. You won us the Burnley game. You should have won us this game, and it just never happened. And yeah, that's one of those days, I guess. Sheffield next, so we need to win that game to continue our momentum forward, and I think we should. Anthony Martial, I believe you were dealt one of those blows where the servicing again was poor. Nobody was providing you with servicing. I believe that hampered the game. You weren't awful. You weren't that bad. We can't say Anthony Martial was bad today. So Anthony for me is a six, and is that me just grading Cavani and grading our number 11 Greenwood is gonna be a harsh thing to do because them never come on. Them come on with a mindset to just defend with the game, and that's what they did. So yeah, that's what happened today. Manu, Liverpool, nil all. Manu still leading. Liverpool was gonna third, possible fourth if City win the game today. So yeah, that is it for the United score. Manchester United, Liverpool, nil all. It could have been worse, and it could have been better for Manchester United. So give thanks that we came out not losing the game. Not happy with the draw, but we didn't lose. So yeah, that is it. Stay tuned for the next analysis. I think is on Wednesday, where we play Sheffield United, and we should win that game. I'm looking forward to winning that game. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the United Score.